Hey, if you're looking to get into this e-bike game and you're not looking for a $1,600 bike or a $3,800 bike, this may be a viable option for you. This is the QLife Spark. It's got a 750 watt motor. We're going to go through some super gravy stuff, what I use it for, and I'll give you a few of the specs, but nothing too in-depth. I think this makes sense for somebody that is living on acreage, doesn't want to have to fire up the ATV or UTV to run to the other side of the property. I use it often to check on the sheep and check fence, things like that. We'll use them in the evening as a family and go right around. But they do really well on the gravel road. They've got these 4-inch wide, 20-inch tires. We have not had any issues with flats or anything like that, and that is unheard of with the bicycles for us. It seems like the really narrow tires are terrible about getting punctures, and we have not had any problems with this. We've got 62 miles on this riding around here on the Homestead. No concrete, no pavement near us, anything like that. This is all riding old logging roads, they're not even county maintained roads. Riding around the Homestead here, short grass, tall grass, in between grass, you name it, that's what we're going through. So I'll give you some clips of what we've been riding on. You know, it will climb a hill, but it's a 750 watt motor. It's not going to climb it without you putting in some effort on your behalf. Does great on gravel roads. The kids have been riding it, so it's had its dents and dings, but I kind of prefer to test things that way because it gives me a real life experience of what the wear and tear is going to be like. We've not had any problems adjusting brakes, but that's a pretty common deal. I'll go over some of the pros and some of the cons, and I'll try not to screw them up and mix match them. This is a sub $1,000 bike. In fact, it's a sub $750 bike. Okay, it's available on Amazon. There'll be a link down below. Maybe an affiliate link. There may be a coupon code. I don't know. I do the best I can for you folks. But it gets about 20. It'll go about 28 miles per hour when you've got it, you know, the rear tire up in the air. No load on it is what I mean by that. When I'm pedaling it as fast as I can get, I'm getting right at like 26 miles per hour. And that is in 7th gear, the 5th gear for pedal assist, and me just booking it as hard as I can. It's really not what you're going to drive it. You're not going to drive it like that most of the time. So you're going to see about 15 miles per hour or something like that as you're kind of just putting around. But it's got a really wide foot on the kickstand here, which I like with our softer soil, especially with all the rain we've been getting. It doesn't sink in. I don't have to worry about it leaning over and falling. We've got a battery gauge up here on the screen. It also has a trip and a odometer, and then it's got a power mode where it'll show you how many like watts of power you're putting out. You can choose 1 through 5 on your speed assist, which is PAS. They call that pedal assist. It does have a horn. It's got a headlight and tail light, brake lights, which is kind of nice if you're into that sort of thing. And we are, because we like to not run into each other as we have accidentally done. You've also got a battery gauge here on your battery, so you can check that without having the bike powered on. And you can use a key, remove that battery, and take it inside if you want. Now, what I'll tell you is it charges at about 96, call it 100 watts, charges at 120 volts. It's using like 0.95 amps of power and takes a little over 7 hours to fully charge. You're going to get, it depends on how much pedaling you're doing. You're going to get something like 20 miles to the charge. That's a good rough ballpark. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Kind of depends on if you're riding it like a dirt bike and not putting in any effort, you know, at the end of the workday kind of deal, or if it's you're using it as exercise, and you kind of got it in a lower pedal assist and you're putting in more effort, you're going to get a little bit longer range out of it. We've got a lot of hills and uneven terrain here, so that's the kind of stuff that we are dealing with. It does have a twist throttle. Some of them have a thumb throttle, which I'm not a huge fan of. I like the twist throttle, kind of like a dirt bike would be. Rear cargo rack, we really don't use it for much. We tend to use a backpack or something if we need to carry anything with us. My experience is that when you put packs back here, you run this risk of straps and stuff getting tangled up in your tires. That's been my experience. So, as far as cons go, this seat, you perhaps can see how it slopes in the video. I prefer to sit kind of back here. I prefer a flatter seat. This is a shorter model bike. Good for smaller riders. I'm 5'8". It's not bad for putting around here, but I would not want to go take it on a 15-mile road trip, more or less. But like my 10-year-old son, perfect for him. He loves it. It is just the right height for him, and not so ignorantly overpowered that we have to worry about him running into trees and things like that. Got a good frame to it. Everything seems secure. It doesn't rattle and beat and bang when you're driving it. Decent enough headlight, you know. We've certainly rode after dark several times, but good little all-around bike. If you need to check fence, check on livestock, run down to the mailbox, or you know, whatever you got. We've got a post office box, PO box, but little things like that, it's great for. The kids can hop on it and run, and I really don't have anything negative to say about it other than that my biggest complaint is probably the seat is just not that comfortable. And here, I'll sit on it once. It's just a lower bike. If I sit down here, I really feel like I'm low to the ground and not the most comfortable. But aside from that, really, no complaints. Good little bike. Good, you know, if you're just getting into the whole e-bike thing and you just want to try it out and kind of see how it goes, this, I think, would be a good starter for you. Very basic, but solid enough frame. So I hope that helps. If you got any questions, thoughts, comments, ideas, whatever, leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. All right, folks. Till next time, Mountain Wizard out. See ya.